Hey everyone, welcome to episode 24 of Beers in the Lot. On this episode, we're discussing some of the pretty gruesome and awful hockey injuries we've had over the years in beer leagues. We're checking in with the NWHL and some of our favorite teams. And we have a quick update on the Beers in the Lot Fantasy Hockey League. Welcome to episode 24.
Well, what say you guys? Shall we open beers?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Had a little splatter on that one. It was an aggressive open. So welcome back, Daniel.
Yes, thank you.
How was your week off?
It was good. It was good. I wouldn't really say it was off. I mean, Jesus.
Fair enough.
If you count getting like an hour of sleep and then like 2 hours of sleep off, then yeah, I'd rather be on.
Yeah.
What you drinking tonight?
So because I'm going to be on baby duty later, I'm only drinking one beer, but it's a 19.5 ounce can. Look at it's Brew Free or Die Blood Orange IPA by 21st Amendment Brewery. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Saw it the other day and I was like, yeah, I'm picking that up. Especially big ass can.
They make excellent stuff.
Yes.
They're awesome. Yeah.
I also thought it was pretty fitting with what's been happening the past few weeks, you know. Got Abraham Lincoln on the front. Pretty tight.
Be careful. You're treading
No politics.
You're treading on a thin line there.
That's all the politics this show is. This is can art.
Yes, Abraham Lincoln was a president.
Somewhat consequential.
So I heard you were you had a mediocre beer last week, Aaron. So you came over and dropped something off to me. I decided to give you a beer. How's that beer? Is it treating you better?
Much better. I've got, courtesy of Daniel here, a Sam Adams Winter Lager. And it's far better than the one that I had last week. What you got today, Johnny?
I have a Truth IPA from our buddies at Flying Dog.
Excellent.
So a staple
Tell the truth.
of Flying Dog. Yeah, tell the truth. You can't handle the truth. Yeah, exactly. So, got one of those. What about you, sir?
So I picked up, it's called Curtain Up by Union Craft Brewing. It's actually it's a nationwide collaboration that they're doing to raise funds for live performers. So theater,
that's cool.
Venues, different stuff. So I saw that and I was like, yeah, you know what? Those guys are probably having a time. So I'll pick up Curtain Up. It's hazy IPA, decent, crisp, clean. It's pretty good.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So before we jump into it here, I feel like I kind of needed to say something about the topic last week. So when Goody was saying that he just kind of lets me have it in the warm-ups, that is not true. So I shoot at the pads and the glove for the goalie, and it started about 2 years ago. This is pre-shooting at the pads to warm up the goalie. I threw a shot at a goalie. It caught him in the collarbone. Needless to say, it broke his collarbone.
What was the distance on this? You said you threw the shot at the goalie. Like, how far were you throwing shots away from?
So
like 8 feet?
No, I was probably mid circles. I just threw it at him. It wasn't like a hard shot at all. It just hit him at the right spot and just broke it. So since then, I don't do that anymore.
So I'm gonna clarify, because you do. I mean, I'm not gonna pump your tires too hard here.
Oh, you can. That's fine.
Yeah, okay. But so I like how you said it wasn't that hard. So are you saying you drink too much milk, or the goalie doesn't drink any milk? Like, I'm just trying to clarify here.
So the goalie in question had a blow and go in his car, so he was already kind of a douchebag anyway. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You're saying he deserved it. All right.
I don't know about that. Well,
Broken collarbone? No.
Yeah.
Come on.
I've had one of those. It's not the most pleasant injury, unfortunately.
Danny, that's not the only collarbone that you've broken either playing hockey.
Yeah.
But the only one that I know of where you shot it at someone.
Yes.
Broke
Yes.
the collarbone.
The other one with the guy we skated into each other and he took the brunt of it.
That happens a lot at our level.
Yeah.
Thick boy hockey.
Yeah.
Thick boy hockey.
Well, so I'm trying to think here. Has anyone? So I think in terms of injuries playing hockey, I've had maybe a wrist tweak, or I think I've definitely gotten some bruises or anything like that. Daniel, unfortunately, I know you broke your jaw, correct?
Yeah, I was going to say, John, I'm pretty sure that you're the only one of us that hasn't broken something playing hockey. Because I could think of one for me and Daniel and Eric, but I can't think of any breaks for you.
I maybe my spirit has been broken playing hockey. That's the only. I'm trying to think. I can't. Yeah, even back to high school, knock on wood. I need to find a piece of wood stat, but
what about when you ran the gates?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I went to a physical therapist buddy of ours, and he said you didn't damage your rotator cuff, but it was pretty darn close. But I wasn't out. I didn't miss any time, thank God. I don't think so. But I know for a day or two it was not pleasant. I mean, a rotator cuff, I don't even think I'd wish that on my worst enemy, because you can't move your arm really. I mean, I didn't have the full effect, thank the Lord, but geez, it was rough. For that day after, it was really sore. I was leaning in to go for a puck, and there was an older gentleman, and not older in terms of a few years. I'm talking about he was collecting his Social Security check at the time, older, and he well, everyone said he kind of leaned in, but he checked my shoulder.
Yeah.
He checked my shoulder.
Yeah.
He got me. Two things. I was probably a little naive going, oh, it's just him. He won't do anything. Leaning in for a puck there. He, on the other hand, no desire to touch the puck. He was going for my right shoulder. But I like the guy, and he's from Black Lake, Quebec. He's a grizzled old man.
I know all about some of the elder statesmen of the league bundling you into the boards.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know all about that.
But hey, Danny, you can't we can't be oh, Danny broke his jaw. And then not
we
got
to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Daniel.
So the injury happened when it was a league play. I really don't remember what year it was. I think it was when I first started working at the rink.
It was a while. It was years and years ago at this time.
It was 2007.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Because there's another funny story about that.
There's another one that comes up not too long after this one.
Yeah.
So I'm just skating down the ice. Puck goes into a group of 2-3 guys. I got my teammate to my left of me. Teammate is going for the puck. Well, the teammate's stick happened to be in the air. I don't know if he was fishing or what he was doing, but then the stick came down across my jaw and just snapped my jaw right in the middle, on the bottom part, right under my teeth. And needless to say, there's a lot of blood. I think I came back to the bench, and I think I asked Aaron.
You sat down right beside me.
I was like, "Hey, is this bad?" He's like, "Dude, you need to go."
I said, "You need to get off the ice." I'm pretty sure I told you to go to the emergency room.
Just out of curiosity, who was the teammate? Well, don't say the name, but.
All right.
What is their relationship to the podcast?
So I'll just say it this way. I'll just put it this way, and I'll be very polite. So it wasn't me. It wasn't my younger brother. There's only one other gentleman in my family who plays hockey, my immediate family.
Now,
and he kind of. I'll just leave it at this. He was born before me.
The only reason why I wanted to go there is because we've been neglect the last couple weeks, in not giving him a huge thank you for
the new images,
designing our new cover art and our logos and all that stuff.
They're sick.
It looks awesome. We're probably going to do some things with those in the future. And, we have to say thank you to John's dad. So
absolutely.
It's
now, also,
thank you for the broken jaw and thank you for the logos.
Now, in his defense, I was on the bench and saw this happen. He was falling. He got tripped up, slew foot or something in the neutral zone. And sometimes when you fall, your only concern is trying to get your hands down to protect yourself, because he was falling kind of backwards and his stick slung around. And then, some guy wasn't wearing a cage, and that's what happens.
Yep. Hey, who on the pod after that wore cages?
I can say and actually, so I think that was the same season, maybe 2 or 3 games earlier, I got somewhat of a flagrant elbow close to my eye, but on top of the crown of my nose. And I didn't leak open, but it definitely was a little bit of blood. I don't have much of a scar or anything. And I remember Aaron actually said, man, with your height, you should really wear a cage. You're just at everyone's level. And I think it was something to the effect of go kick rocks or something. I just didn't care. And then
it was respectful.
It was respectful.
It'd be like, hey, shorty, put on a cage. It was not. It was respectful.
Yeah. And then 2 games later, Daniel unfortunately has an issue with his jaw. And then that day, I'm like, yeah, I should put this cage back on. I haven't taken it off since. So I've been pretty good about that.
So I do need to mention that I also have 2 other facial injuries due to the Walker family.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The younger sibling passed it into my face.
Mm-hmm.
And then John, we were out shooting around with Mikey.
Yeah, you're right. And I shot a puck.
You shot it and it bounced off Mikey's stick and hit me right in the jaw. And I had to go get stitches.
And I remember
3 separate injuries from that family.
I went with you, and you were frightened to get a tetanus shot. I remember that.
Oh yeah, because we had somebody at the rink was like, "Oh, you don't want to get one of those."
Oh
remember?
Yeah, you don't want to. Oh, you don't want to get one. Yeah, I mean, they made it sound like you were going to get amputated. Oh, you don't want to get one of those ever. Jeez, I know. That's not that bad.
I'd like to say that I have 0 facial injuries from hockey because the very first game that I played without a cage, and 2 shifts in, puck slowly bounces and rolls up someone's stick and literally bounces off of my cheek. And I'm checking my cheek. Okay, no blood. This is good. But immediately after I put a cage on, I was like, all right, that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
That was all I needed. I was like, I'm not going to fool around with this cage ever since. And I know, Eric, you probably worn a cage ever since college.
No, I've gone back and forth, but what happens is I'll build up, right? And I'll put the half shield on and I'll play for a little bit. And I've had fairly good luck, but then I'll always see someone catch a puck or a stick. And then I'm like, nope, put the cage back on for a little while. And then right now I'm in a cage phase. The last time I was in a half shield phase, I think it was a pickup. Guy passes it up the middle of the ice. Somebody got a stick on it. It tips up and hit somebody right in the mouth. I think we all know who this is. Hit him right in the mouth. Lost the front 4. Yeah, it was kind of ugly. So after that, I was like, oh, I'll put the cage back on. And it's been on since then.
Now, we alluded to another injury earlier, right before we were talking about Daniel's jaw. Interesting thing, too, you didn't mention this, Daniel, but you had to have your jaws wired shut for, what was it, 6 weeks after?
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Oof. That experience alone is enough to be the cautionary tale for anybody who's on the fence about wearing a cage. if you break your jaw, you have to get them wired shut, and then you have to blend your Taco Bell. And trust me, you don't want to be there.
But all right, so one last injury, I guess, while we're on the topic. I remember someone was embarrassing us with their injury.
No, you know, you were talking earlier about how your rotator cuff was really sore the next day and it really hurt. I know all about how injuries feel the next day and the day after. So here's the situation. I'm going to build it up here because it was a really tense, dramatic moment. It was about, 12 minutes into the first period. The score was tied, and I absolutely had to keep this puck in the offensive zone. So I dove and leapt for the guy who's going up the boards. Well, I missed and didn't get the puck. So now I was sliding and had to stop myself. So I decided to turn my feet around and use my feet to stop myself against the boards. Well, I don't know. I must have caught an edge on the boards. And I didn't realize it at the time. All I knew was that, man, it really hurts to try to skate here. I was close to one of the ice exits, so I just went over to that ice exit. I was pretty sure that I'd hurt myself to the point where I wasn't going to be playing anymore. So I got off the ice, and then I kind of sat there. I was able to walk on my skates. I just couldn't walk in a certain way. So I was like, oh, well, I must have sprained this or something, you know. So I get back to the locker room, and one of the rink staff was going by. I said, hey, would you mind grabbing me a cup of ice real quick? I think I hurt my ankle. And brings me a cup of ice. So I like pouring ice down into my skate. I know from previous tales that if you hurt your foot or hurt your ankle or something like that, and you still have your skates on, you should leave it on because it'll stop swelling and that sort of thing. So left it on. And eventually I'm kind of like thinking to myself, okay, what should I do? Should I go to the hospital? What should I do? And game ends. Everybody's coming back off the ice. Eric's coming off the ice. Daniel, John. We're in the locker room. Everybody's getting undressed. Finally decide, okay, I'm just going to take my skate off. And then Eric gives me some solid medical advice. He says, just walk on it. Just walk it off. Don't be a baby. So I pick up my bag. I walk to the car with my bag. I stand out in the parking lot, have a beer. Next day, I'm like, man, it still kind of hurts. I'm Googling what kind of hockey injuries happened to your ankle. I've convinced myself it's a high ankle sprain. So I go another night, and then the next morning it still kind of hurts. Just get an x-ray, just be sure. So I go in and get the x-ray, and they say, yeah, you broke it. Don't walk on it anymore.
Whoops.
And that's the story of how I broke my leg sliding into the boards at 2 miles an hour and then had to be in a cast for another 8 weeks.
I was going to say, you left out the part where it was the slowest fall I think I've ever seen out there.
In the history of man.
And then
that's why I didn't believe I broke it, because it was so slow. It made no sense.
And John skated by. I said, get up, Aaron. You're embarrassing us.
100% true. Get up, Aaron. You're embarrassing me.
I'm very tough on my teammates. They're a reflection of me when I'm on the ice. If they're not up to my standards, I get very cranky very quick.
So that's how I broke my leg. Eric, you broke your hand or got your hand broken by a shot or something in the middle of a tournament.
Yeah,
right?
Usually, like when I get hurt, I had injuries in high school where I tore my knee up and stuff. But like these days, like when I get hurt, it's always a shot. Like I'll be in front of the net and the shot comes in, and I have like 6 months of the year, my right toe, right big toe will be black, or the left one will be black, and it alternates back and forth for some reason. But it's my feet always get hit. I was playing in one of the USA Hockey adult tournaments, the one that they do in Laurel every year, in front of the net playing D, I think then. Shot comes in, hits my left pinky, but not like on the top of the glove. It was like the side where it's just like the cloth, you know? And uh ended up sitting out in the rink parking lot till like 3 in the morning drinking beers. And my pinky looked like a hot dog that was cooked. Like it was just big and like dark red and gross and stuff. Like, and then like the worst though was Summer Old Fat Ball Guys Tournament 2018. So, and there's a reason why that's important. Uh, not just because I broke my hand, but I was actually going in front to try and get a tip. And there's a guy that plays in OFBG that has like there are guys that shoot fast, there's guys that shoot hard, and then there are guys that shoot heavy. And this guy has the heaviest shot of anybody that I've ever played with. He plays D, he's up at the point. I come across the crease trying to look for a tip because I know he's going to shoot. And he shoots and it comes in and I'm trying to get my stick on it. It's kind of like waist high, the puck. Trying to get my stick on it and the puck hits the top of my right glove. Right? Bang. And my hand's like a little dead. I'm like, okay, it'll go away. Go back to the bench. And I'm playing center for this team in that tournament. Go back to the bench. Hand's still kind of dead. I'm like, okay, it's going to come back. It's going to come back. My next shift, go out, got to take a face off. Go to take the face off. And as soon as I go and try and draw the puck, you know, my stick hits the other center stick and this sharp pain like hits my hand. And I'm like, oh, I can't grip the stick. It's just sharp pain, whatever, like super bad. So we play like Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, right? So that happens in the Saturday morning game. The rest of the day, like we're hanging out and stuff. My hand is like blowing up and it looks like a like chicken breast. Like it's just this big fat, like gross looking thing on top of my hand. Like it's just awful looking. And so I'm like, well, I'll just keep ice on it. The swelling will go down. I'll be fine. It really doesn't hurt that much anymore. Meanwhile, we've been sitting outside drinking beers all day, as we do at that tournament. And I'm like, I could play in the Saturday night game. So go first face off. It was not like I could handle the puck. I could pass. I could even shoot. But as soon as I went to make any kind of like jarring motion with my stick, and if it hit anything, so face-offs were like the worst. Go try and take that first face-off instantly, same pain. Can't grip the stick. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So anyway, it's 2018, which was the year, and John knows. Well, all you guys know this. That was the year my family and I took a big trip to Australia, right? So, and we were leaving like 2 weeks after the summer tournament. So I'm like, oh man, is my hand going to be better? Whatever. So it started to get better. I never I was an idiot. I never went and got it looked at because it was actually like okay. Like a couple days after hockey, I just kept it wrapped. It was okay. Was going to work, no big deal. So we go on the trip, and my buddy that lives over there, he wanted to take us to play golf. So I'm like, yeah, I think I can play golf. Like my hand's good now. So we go to the club that he's a member at, and you know, he's introducing the Americans around, right? Like, you know, we're the novelty. and we get to the first tee box to start our round. And a friend of his, a real good friend of his in the town that they're at, is on the driving range, which was like right behind the first tee box, and he was working on something, and Paul's like, "Oh, this is my friend Eric from America. They're here visiting, blah blah blah." And his friend's like, "Oh, cool." And then he stands there and watches us tee off, right?
That's the worst.
So first
Talk
of all,
about pressure.
I'm terrible at golf. Like, I'm awful at golf. So I'm already like, I don't need people watching me that don't know that I'm terrible. And I'm pretty sure I'm still hurt. And guess what? I was when I when I took that first swing, and as soon as I made contact with the ball, that pain came right back. I almost lost the club. I was like, oh my God, it was so bad. Terrible. That's probably, like, for beer league, that's the worst one. I had, like, my knees are all messed up from high school and
Yeah, I think
stuff.
the worst thing, so like the non-busted / semi-injured rotator cuff, the other one, and Aaron remembers this, there's a guy in our league who, unfortunately, whether you're 5 feet away or 50 feet away, he always hits you in the chest with a pass somehow. Like he's Brett Favre. And he'll just chuck
right
it
on the numbers.
If you have the number, I feel like I should just put numbers on. And I remember I played D with him the one game very early on. This was years and years ago. And I felt afterwards like Happy Gilmore standing in the batting cages getting decked with balls. And I know for a fact I had at least 3 bruises in a weird pattern on my chest because I just got pelted with pucks. And I know one was from about 5 feet away. And I remember screaming an obscenity that I won't say at him after he did it because it just, man. Talk about nuts.
I remember one with you where you went into the goalpost with your back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And you were like pissing blood, weren't you? The next day.
Yeah. Oof. That was years and years.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably kids. But I was all right. Like maybe 2 or 3 days later. Yeah, I think doctors are shamans. They just like read, bones they throw on the table. So I don't. I ignore something. I don't know. Dude. I'm not the best. I'm the best guy. Like I don't go to doctors all that often. So I've gotten stitches and stuff, and like I've had a broken bone. I have had a broken foot before. A few other things. Like I do go to the doctor when it's serious. I don't shun everything. I go to the dentist every year. I get my eyes checked. So
urinating blood's not serious.
Yeah, it's fine.
Nah.
It's not a sign of internal injury or anything.
Normally not. No. I mean, it cleared up by like day 2. So the first time I was like, whoa. Like the first time I was like, whoa, what did I drink? And then it kind of clicked.
What did I drink?
That was like my first, like,
oh man, I should have had all those Bloody Marys.
It wasn't.
I should have had all that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, all right.
Oh my
it wasn't
God.
it wasn't like it was like full. It didn't look like Kool-Aid was in the toilet, but it was definitely like I was definitely like, whoa, what did I drink? At first, that's what I thought. Like kind of that scene from Role Models where they drink so much of that energy drink they urinate green just like the energy drink. That's what they thought.
That was
kind of at first.
Okay, that was your
initial
that's
thought.
Where you went.
That's my initial thought.
All right.
Yeah, initial thought. I was like, whoa, what did I drink? And then I was like, oh yeah, my side kind of hurts because I slid because that guy in front of that. Yeah. Dude, the Riveters. I was watching that fucking game. 10 seconds left.
And they scored.
No, they lost.
Or they got scored on. Yeah.
Cap scored on a 5-on-3. Scumbags.
Daniel's happy though.
Daniel just found out. Oh my God.
Daniel just looked. Yeah.
Daniel just found out. I am gonna say this. I do like the Twitch thing because it's free and you could it's accessible and it's younger media. Like it's a good way to.
The production quality on those broadcasts on Twitch are top notch. It's really good. Because I'm used to watching like college hockey, and you either you watch the Flow Hockey stream or you watch like the ESPN Plus stream of the ECAC schools, and it's really
it's like camera.
It's like one camera at center ice, and then they'll simulcast the radio broadcast for the audio. So the audio's terrible.
And whenever somebody scores a goal, they're like, ah! And it's just clipping like crazy.
Like, right. And because now we're audio engineers because we do a podcast.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So when we hear like the clipping of the audio, I'm just like cringing. And also like it's AM radio in wherever they are. Like most of the teams in the ECAC are in Western New York. So it's AM radio up there. Like, no offense to the guys that are putting on the production and the play-by-play guy, but
the limitations of the medium.
If I'm watching the game on ESPN Plus, like it should have decent audio. But like the NWHL broadcasts on the Twitch have been like they're top-notch production.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who's in charge of that or who's producing it, but they're doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also too the fan interaction with the chat room. There, I've seen a bunch of people. JT Brown logged on and gave everybody the subscription. You know, he gave a few people in the chat room away. I haven't really done much in the chat room because I just kind of want to do the game, but it's a really cool way to just grow your fan base organically in a very small way, and just go, hey, we're opening this up to our fans. We're making it very high quality product, low investment cost from, you know, a fan standpoint. Eric and I, you know, we have the NHL Game Center or ESPN Plus. So, you know, we invest in that obviously, but to watch the NWHL games that we as hockey fans want to see, I was one of the new people to Twitch, you could say. They got a new member out of Twitch out of me because that was the first time I signed up for it. So I'm not watching.
And John is not good with tech, so
I'm good. Like I'm good. I'm good with like, you know, basic stuff. Like you need me to do XYZ, fine. But you know, in our group text, we recently switched to Discord, which in the last 4 years, it's been like originally it was text, then it was Google, then it was WhatsApp, and then now it's Discord. So I was very anti-change, obviously, kind of gripping my phone in a very negative manner when I had to download a new app. But thank you, NWHL, for making me a Twitch fan. It's very simple and easy.
Well, one of the cool things about it too is that with the chat, you can ask questions. So it's great for people who are new to watching hockey. Like you could get explanations on stuff. Like the neutral zone is lavender and the goalposts are lavender, and people are asking like, why is that? Why are they doing it? And everybody in the chat can say, hey, it's for Hockey Fights Cancer. So there's no questions about it. If you have a question, you can just ask and get it answered. And I think that's great. That's a great way for new fans to learn the game. And I really do like the way that they're doing it on Twitch. It's fantastic.
And I would also say not just Twitch too. Like I've been pretty active on Twitter the last couple of weeks, not just with NWHL, but you know, in general, the NHL. And I've liked what I've seen from the NWHL, all teams, not calling out just one team. I follow the Riveters. You know, I have a vested interest in them doing really well. I know Danny's all gloating because they unfortunately fell to the Whitecaps today. Minnesota native Daniel Liverette.
Yeah,
you know?
and Minnesota's undefeated.
Undefeated. I know. Well, that was that was the showdown of the undefeated teams. So
yeah,
unfortunately, but
it was a good pick by me.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
In my extensive research.
I'm hoping that the Buttes can turn it around tonight and get one because they're not coming out of the gate pretty hot. The Six are looking good right now, though. 6 games on right now. They're up by 1 late in the third.
They're trending. So. They're trending in the right way for an expansion team. That's for sure. You know,
and that's what we always say. Like heading into the playoffs, you always want to be trending in the correct direction.
Well, and that's the thing. Like if they could get a regulation win out of tonight, then they kind of get into that top 4, and they're, you know, maybe they can ride that into a semifinal appearance, hopefully.
Yeah.
And the one thing too, I've seen a little bit of chatter on the socials and even in general from some of the fans that I've, you know, read a few blogs here and there. But I think outside of the social media and whatnot, the play has been exceptional, but the goaltenders are really stealing the show.
Yes,
I'm a little,
absolutely.
I want to see more like 7-5 hockey games ideally because I want to see goals. But
like goals, yeah.
but is it like I said, watching the Riveters game earlier today when they lost, unfortunately, the Whitecaps, they on a 5-on-3 penalty kill, they got scored on with 10 some seconds left in regulation. Really heartbreaking, but really good goaltending at both ends. It was a really entertaining game, even for a 1-0 game. Man, that's tough. I'm still semi-bent about that. More bent about the Riveters game than the Pens game, actually. I'm like, man, on a 5-on-3, 10 seconds left.
Well, they had a 3-on-0 there in OT for them, and they couldn't put it away. Oh,
he did hit the bar though.
He did hit the bar. He did.
So,
but we've been talking about
he at least
it.
Gave it a chance.
They only led for like a minute and 30 seconds of their previous game or something, like the last game that they won. They're just in a comeback. Like, what are they doing? You can't win a season like that.
Yeah. Well, no, you can.
I mean, you don't want to though.
I can't remember which season it was. It was either the 2016 or 2017 season when they both won cups. They were coming back in every single game during the regular season, and I think that actually kind of helped them going into the playoffs. Having to go through adversity through games and not coasting through games, getting wins given to them pretty much. They kind of had to battle back. I think that actually helps teams going into the playoffs.
It does, but it'd be a lot better if you just blast in 7 to begin with and not have to worry about it.
You mean like the Avalanche on the Sharks right now? 7-2 in the second.
Oof.
Close game, huh?
Yeah,
big boy hockey.
Yeah,
how many does Mac have?
Yeah, what does McKinnon have? I'm actually pulling up the fantasy site right now.
I don't want to look at it. My team is not doing good.
Well, yeah, Sidney Crosby put a ton of points up for him the first 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, also I have Big Mac.
Yeah, you have Mac. That's right.
Goalies are doing okay. It's not bad. I'm up by 40.
Eichel's having a good night for you tonight.
Yeah, Jack Eichel finally scored a goal. Good Lord. John's favorite player.
Yeah.
Jack Eichel.
Yeah, I got I have a few issues now. Yeah, I mean, maybe the Sabres will catch fire and they'll have more reasons to break some tables in Buffalo, unfortunately, since the Bills are out.
I root for Buffalo because I root for their fans, as we've talked about before. Buffalo Sabres fans are the best visiting fans in the NHL.
Oh man, you don't like Pittsburgh visiting? Come on now.
Again, Buffalo Sabres fans are the best visiting fans in the NHL.
They don't take pictures at the art gallery across the street.
No, they just do shots with you and pound beers. Like the late green turtle. It's gone now.
The late green turtle.
So hopefully they do okay. Hopefully they don't do that well in the East Division that they push, Washington and others out.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
That's the end of our episode for this week. We really appreciate everyone listening. Please make sure you tell all your friends. Please tell everyone in your fantasy hockey leagues that you're hopefully beating up on. And if you want more, join us at beersintheLot.com/Discord to join in the discussion and interact with us. Thanks.